Thank you for joining me today. We're going to look at breathing. I suggest that where we're really stuck is in our breathing constriction, a constriction that feels really normal to each of us. If it's a tight low back, well, you're never breathing into your low back. If your chest is really depressed, your brain just thinks it's too much work to breathe there. Let's make it more basic. What's the primary muscle of respiration? It's the diaphragm. You've maybe heard of the diaphragm. We've got a lot of other muscles of respiration. The muscles that skirt down the side of the neck, they can lift the ribs up. We have muscles between each rib. There's muscles on the inside of the chest that pull and cave in the chest and can constrict that way. A tight back pushes the back forward against your lungs, and that's a breathing constriction in itself. And then we get into these asymmetries. They are also breathing constriction. Think of yourself as a pulsatory organism. If you didn't have legs or arms or even a neck and a head, well, you're this breathing organism, just like a jellyfish, pulsatory. But our brains learn these tension patterns through practice, and we get caught in these distortions to our somatic space. Let's think about the diaphragm. You have your rib cage, and it's sort of like a bell shape in this cage of ribs. And at the bottom of it is like a drum skin. It's muscular. It's the diaphragm, very tendony and muscly. And as it tightens, it pulls down like a plunger. It pulls the air down into your lungs. As it tightens, this sort of dome-shaped muscle, it pulls down and pulls air into your lungs. It's really strong. That's the primary muscle of respiration. The diaphragm, it only breathes in. It doesn't squeeze the air out. The rest of you squeezes the air out. Just with that tension and constriction, as the diaphragm relaxes, that's when the air goes out. The diaphragm only pulls the air in, and the tendons of the diaphragm go down the front of your spine in your low back. They go down, I think it's to L4. Right now, as you're lying there, with your fingers, find the bottom edge of the ribs, your rib cage, and sort of find that and feel up under there, under those ribs. Is it sore? Okay, for most people, it's very sore, and it's not supposed to be sore. Mine used to be very sore with a lot of somatics. Those muscles rest and they're not sore. If they're on all the time, they're going to be sore. Push gently and maybe work your way down the side. How far down the sides do your ribs go? Way down there. And then work on up. What's the highest up point in the very center? Some people have it in a more prominent way, but there's a little tip at the bottom of your sternum. A rib cage comes up, the cartilage of the ribs comes across the front of the body. So let's try this. Take those fingers and just push gently up into the ribs and just gently against it, sort of depress the upper abdomen a little bit. And could you take a diaphragmatic breath in? It's like the breath in is slowly. And if you want to trigger it a little bit, you can do that little bit of that Whoa Nellie movement. As you arch your back, it helps trigger the opening of the front. Can you take a belly breath in? But try this. How strong is the diaphragm? Can it push your fingers out of the way? There's no keeping the fingers in there. The diaphragm's just too strong. It can push all the way down there. And just let the diaphragm relax. So what a lot of people do is, as they're relaxing, some people, they'll breathe out through pursed lips to slow it down. That's sort of artificially making up for lack of control in how you're relaxing the diaphragm. Let's see if we can get the diaphragm to relax. So again, gentle breath in. As you take the breath in long and push that belly out. As you protrude the belly all the way and push down, can you push down and feel the tautness of that drum at the bottom of the rib cage? Really push the belly out all the way. And let that relax slowly. Not through pursed lips, just slow with open mouth. the diaphragm relaxes. And again, it might be easier even to have your legs down if that's okay on your back. Gentle breath in. And really, think about the diaphragm pulls the air down into the lungs, down. It's not, forget the mouth, it's down into the body. And really push the belly all the way out. Is it pushing out to one front pocket? Is it pushing down to the other front pocket? Is it pushing down toward your belt buckle? As deep as you can get, exhaling slowly. Well, as you take the deep breath in, it pushes all these abdominal muscles out, and that pressure is enough to, as the diaphragm's relaxing, it can slowly relax. But let's make it a more active pandiculation. Interlock your fingers and put your fingers on your abdomen, okay? And just like whoa, Nellie, the elbows and shoulders are pushing back as you take that belly breath in. Can you give some opposition with your hands, just the right amount of opposition for the belly breath to come in, but you're intentionally pushing those hands up and away. Ready? Gentle breath in, long breath. And really pull up against give your diaphragm something to push against. And breathe in deep so you can feel the power of the diaphragm. It can push your hands away that strongly. And lower slowly. The hands are pushing the diaphragm up into the ribs as it relaxes. Less and less and less. Diaphragm pushes up into the rib cage. Let's try that again. You can go down really low. Okay. If there's a lot of constriction in your abdomen, well, we're not trying to stretch the abdomen. We want to pandiculate and have pandiculations to help those abdominal muscles so that they're not always tight. If they're always tight down here low, I suggest that's frequent urination is going to be the result. When you have to pee, what you're sensing is the stretch sensation of the smooth muscle wall of the bladder. If the abdomen is always just tight, 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 and the fills with urine, well, it's got nowhere to go. It's going to just feel like that tension very soon. We want to have that bladder have plenty of room to fill with fluid, so you don't have to wake up 4 times in the middle of the night. I used to have to wake up a lot. Now I can drink 2 glasses of water before I go to bed, and I probably don't have to pee to the morning, but my bladder is just wonderfully full. Can you change what you can? And if you've got a problem, see a urologist. I'm not anti-doctor, but change what you can in your muscle tension system. I could show you how to do that. Again, fingers interlock. Gentle breath in. Push against the hands. The hands give some good opposition. Slow with an open mouth. Exhale. Slow it down. There you go. A little more active experience of the brain really connecting to figure out how to relax the diaphragm out of this high effort. Let's try this. Fingers interlock. Hands are on one side of the abdomen. Can your brain figure out how to coordinate the diaphragm to push out to one side more than the other? Okay. The gentle breath in. Arch your back as needed to push the diaphragm out to that side. Let it fill, not too much opposition in the filling, but then add that opposition. And slow, maybe lower in steps. Just relaxing. We're going to do that one more time. Gentle pressure on the abdomen. Breathe the abdomen out to one side. Arch the back as needed. I'm sort of pushing my belly button out to that side. Deep breath in. Look what place is opening the most. Give some opposition. It's pushing against the diaphragm. It's a tug of war, but it's pushing. It's oppositional. Lower slowly. Little steps. Okay. Compare the two sides. Take a symmetrical abdominal breath in gently enough that you could have the discernment to tell, is something different from one side to the other? Which way does the breath go? Okay. Better do the other side. We don't want the other side to be jealous. Gentle, just the right amount of opposition. We don't want to make the diaphragm work too hard. We're teaching it how to relax. That's where we want to focus the effort and the awareness, in the relax. That gentle breath in. Push out against the hands to the side. Protrude the belly into the hands. Slow relax. Steps. Gentle to rest. And again, pushing the belly button out to that side, out toward that knee on that side. Slow relax in steps. The hands, good opposition with the hand. Really push up in there. Okay. Be there with a relaxed diaphragm. What does it feel like to have that place relaxed? It's hard to sense the diaphragm. It's got to be really tight to sense it. It's such a strong muscle. Let's take that gentle breath in. Very symmetrically, a slow, gentle breath. How softly could you breathe in with the abdomen? Arch the back only as much as you need to. Deep, 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 deep breath. Deepest breath. Exhale slow. Okay. Can you observe your automatic breathing? We're going to hold the breath. I'm going to count down from 5. Just let it breathe automatically, wherever it wants. Don't direct it. Can you observe your automatic breathing? So when you're ready, counting down, hold the breath gently. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let it breathe. And don't even tell it the pace to breathe. Notice the breath in is the little bit of effort. Just keep breathing. And just let the air go out like a sigh. Soft. Could it be dreamy? Can you ever be halfway asleep and tune into how your system's breathing? Paying attention to your breathing is practicing. Practice a lot. At the end of every day, ask yourself, did I practice enough? Or was I being like pulled down the drain, like that tornado-like thing the water does? Have I been pulled down the drain all day by this muscle tension? Or did I practice enough I asked myself, was I the person I wanted to be today? Can you help your system remember the relaxed person that you can be? And you're learning that from a guy who really knows how to be tense. All right. I'm Eric Cooper. Thank you very much for practicing with me today. InspireSomatics.com. Blessings on your journey.